Hello, Croeso, welcome back to Britain's Hidden History, me Ross Broadstock, and the crazy world of British archaeology, where doctrine demands that nothing found can ever be British. It has to be foreign. It can be Roman, it can be Germanic, it can be Scandinavian, Norman, even Sarmatian. It certainly can't be British. Great example. Thank you to Mandy McCourt for bringing this to my attention. It's from the Mirror. We can look at other sources as well. Spooked archaeologists find dozens of skeletons buried by side of ancient road. All right, so let's look at it without all the adverts and all that clutter. Here's the article. So it's a major Roman route. They're immediately calling it Roman, okay? So what are they basing this on? Well, they're calling it, this quite a funny article, but it's popular press. If you don't know, the Daily Mirror is like one of those sort of popular tabloids. And so they're just calling it the Roman equivalent of a roadside service station. I love this. You get blacksmithing done, you can buy stuff, there's loads of trade, there's loads of goods, there's weighing scales, coins, all sorts of stuff, okay? Some kind of stopover point, not really sure. Now, first thing to note, while the site is thought to date back to the end of the 1st century, okay, now this is crucial, it also has an early Christian cemetery on its edge, date to the 3rd or 4th century. So how do they get those two dates in? There's a little trickiness going on here. Well, the problem they have, you see, if you date it to the 1st century, Britain was Christian in the 1st century. Loads of evidence for that. You can see the book where Jesus was buried on the Cymroglyphics website. Tons of evidence to support that. Whereas Rome wasn't Christian until at least the 4th century. Constantine brought in his changes. And look at your history books. The Romans are persecuting Christians, Diocletian persecutions. They were putting them in theatres and feeding them to lions and all sorts. So we have to move it, make it, it's going to be 1st century and simultaneously 3rd and 4th century to make it fit the Roman thing. All right, the intact road. Well, there's loads of evidence for the road being pre-Roman as well, which we'll not go into here. I need the picture now because I've got something important. I have to go back to that one. There's skeletons and pots and all that kind of stuff. The coins, again, assumed to be Roman, some of these. You'll see on this channel, a lot of them aren't Roman. This is the key piece. Look at this picture. I want you to look at this. Because here we got what's called a caltrop. So you can see it's very clearly a couple of nails twisted together with pointy bits. You can almost see the heads of the nails there on one end and the pointy on the other end. So it looks like 3 nails perhaps, one bit hidden. Anyway, the point is that you can very clearly see how it's constructed. Twist them together. And this is called a Roman. And they got a headline, they call it the Roman road mines. All right, another point of interest is that, this is fascinating. This professor suggested, project officer, that the possibility the site was mainly populated by foreigners. They mean non-Romans, because this is Britain, don't forget. So when they say foreigners, they mean non-Britons. I think they mean non-Romans. Again, it shows the weird thinking that goes on. The Romans are considered more British than the British. Anyway, pointing to the Saxon style of the cellars by way of example. So we've got Saxon-style cellars. There's a tongue twister. Saxon-style cellars. Right, and the other thing, right down to the end, you have to look. Remains from an earlier cremation have also been found at the site. So I presume that means pre-Roman when I say earlier. As well as substantial numbers of animal bones, including that livestock was kept there. So it was a busy place before the Romans, all right? So the only thing really could possibly make it Roman is the thought that this has to be Roman. Well, let's have a look at Caltrops. This is a website which is very good, historynet.com. Some good articles in here, and as it says here, caltrops are being used all over history. The idea is you throw it and it'll always land to the pointy end up. So for horses on their hooves, absolutely devastating, and for people as well. So they're used defensively, stopping night attacks, giving you what they call it, denying space is a military term. So all that kind of thing. And in many respects, the caltrops, the ideal passive weapon. And what it talks about here has been used all over the world. Everyone, all right? India, China, Persia, all that kind of stuff throughout history. Now, this is the interesting bit here. The original caltrop was nothing more than a ball from which spikes projected in such a way that when 3 spikes are on the ground, the 4th always pointed upwards. Obviously, if you tread on it, you can get badly injured or even killed, okay? Now, if you scroll all the way down through this, I'll put the link in the description. You have a read. It's very interesting. Hang on. There's loads. You can see all over the world, right? They're not specific to Romans at all. Here we go. this is what leapt out at me. In the Middle Ages, all right, so way after the Romans, European smiths improved and simplified the caltrop design by eliminating the ball. So there's a ball with a spike stuck into it. So what they did was twisted two double-pointed strips of iron and cold hammering together. The caltrop now resembled more than ever the ground thistle from which it took its English name. By that time, too, the caltrops in use throughout Europe, Asia, North Africa, and in fact, medieval China was the biggest deployment of them. All right, so Romans, the ball with the spiky bits. Medieval English, Middle Ages, whatever that means, two twisted metal nails. All right, hang on, let's go back, and there's the picture. Which one do you think that looks like? The Roman one or the British one? Or could it be an earlier British one? Who knows? The fascinating thing, of course, is that not anywhere in this, even though they talk about pre-Roman activity and evidence, post-Roman activity and evidence, a caltrop which is clearly not Roman, the site still gets called Roman. That's the mad world we're living in. So please remember to subscribe, get notifications. Usually one of these every day, and then there's a long show live Sunday evening for discussing all these sort of things. It's live, advert free. You can come and join us 8 o'clock UK time. So until the next time, peace to everyone. Wishing Welsh is Heddwch.